Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope this finds you good today. And it is Friday, June 22nd, I believe, and it is the last day of the week. I am up this morning and getting ready to go to work to teach my ballet class, and just sharing a few little moments with you this morning as I do. I hope everyone is good today, and right now is like another little moment where I feel really pretty chill this morning, pretty chill. I'm thinking a lot about assuming, and what was it, yesterday or day before yesterday, you know, this Messy Mary thing, this Mary Michaels, this alter ego that I'm playing with and creating to play with is such a very interesting thing, what it does onto my own mind. And you're gonna have to stay with me, you know, like you know that I'm doing these things, and you know, my mind is assuming that people are assuming and making judgments, and assuming. Isn't it funny? My mind assumes that people are making assumptions about this thing, you know, like and that's really good to know. And it's part of having courage to be able to, you know, it's not like and maybe this is my mind just like in defense. You know, the assumptions that my mind think that this playfulness of mine with a wig and some makeup and just playing with my existence is that people assume things, that there is some kind of reality. And it's so interesting because the courage that I have to do this is like, it's so remarkable. And it's like, you know, you have to have courage to do many things, and you know, have the courage to just step out of your comfort zone. Have the courage to do something different, to do something every day that scares you. What was it, Eleanor Roosevelt that said that, I think. And you know, we are just, I don't know, I was raised to assume things, and it happens automatically in the head and the mind, and assuming that because someone is you know, like in a low mood or a high mood or a playful mood, or, you know, I think it's what is age appropriate and things like that arise in my mind, which is so just part of my conditioning and the bubbling up of these kind of assumptions that come through my mind as I am just basically playful. And my mind often says also too is that, you know, when you step outside of this so-called comfort zone, you start to assume that, you know, I don't know, that everyone's assuming that it is sexual, or that it is like this person is becoming a woman or something. And it's so funny because not in my own defense, but like, I don't know, it's just a very interesting feeling and thing I can do with myself. Is like I realize the conditional everything in myself, which is really great, because at the same time it's like what teaches me about assumption for myself is that my mind can assume a lot of things that like become final and true, and we believe them. And you know, I like to read quotes, so I'm going to read a quote. We simply assume that the way we see things is the way they really are, or the way they should be. And our attitudes and behaviors grow out of these assumptions. You know, they do. That's the attitude and behavior grows out of the assumptions. And we assume that this is like this and this is like that. And we don't have the full story. And it's very interesting because, you know, what I probably feel is that, you know, I don't want people to assume certain things. And that's, again, a people-pleasing. People will assume what they want to assume from where they stand, which is what I say all the time. So, gosh, and there's a lot of compassion that grows within me with that. You know what I mean? And so there's a lot of compassion because I realize the assumptions, the assuming of anything. If someone behaves a certain way, we assume that it's because of this or because of that. And that's a very interesting, beautiful relationship to myself that I have. And I learned what judgment and labeling it all is, and it's just a very interesting, intimate experience that I have with myself, and it affects my choices and affects everything just for my own self. So I'm a brave motherfucker, let me tell you right now, for doing it. I mean, just in my own experience, you know what I mean? And stepping out of your comfort zone is so valuable. It's so valuable, and that's pretty cool. And it's like encouraged. If my family is all watching this right here, it's like this shirt is an Alabama shirt. There's a rival between two teams from my hometown. And in America, in the South, Alabama and Auburn, they're football teams and they play against each other. And I bought this shirt. I bought this shirt just because I like the style of it. I'm not into the sports at all. And it's so interesting because everyone in my family, they're either Auburn or Alabama fans, you know, like in my immediate family, in my extended family. And there's a huge rival, and so like to the point where like people get upset about if you don't support that team or that team. I only say this because I have this sweatshirt on, and it's in my mind, of course, that, you know, my family is an Auburn fan, not this. And I only bought it because it said Alabama, so I wasn't even thinking about the team, or I don't know. And if I wear this shirt assuming that I'm an Alabama fan or something, it's very interesting. This is all about assumptions, and what we're assuming about another person or about just a situation is not final. It's 95% not even the full truth about anything, really. And I think it's very interesting, just on my own self. And I was talking to my partner yesterday, and sometimes we assume that people behave a certain way because they want to get something from that, and there's a payoff. And behavior, there is, and you know, in my payoff right now is that I gain courage, basically, and I'm really all about that, basically, this morning. And it's all like, it's all good, it's all fine, and not to take anything too seriously. And I certainly, you know, doing this having fun with this makeup, which I really love it. It's just so funny. It's so fun. It's really fun for me to play around and just, yeah, sit and do it. And I do really like it very much, but it has nothing to do with sexuality, and it has nothing to do with anything other than, you know, like playing. That's all. And I love to play. I love to play so much. And I'm a playful person, so I would imagine that I'm fun to be around, basically. And I think, you know, I don't know, if people are assuming things about me, I cannot control any of that. I can't control any of that, you know. I can't control, you can't control anything that anyone has said. And then, you know, live and let live. And I think that's really interesting, regardless of the motive of why someone chooses to do something, or chooses to behave a certain way, or chooses to express their love, or, you know, the reaction that you have is your reaction. And your reaction is part of the assuming. You know, assuming that, you know, this person's needy, or this person needs this kind of thing. And all of those labels are good, are fine. Any label that you give, just to realize it's only an assumption, basically. You know? Just period. It's just an assumption. Unless you know the whole story. And do you need to know the whole story, or you just go on and live your life, you know? I think the reason the reason is I just want to be playful, and I just express it because I feel the vulnerability and the courage. And I want to inspire people to do similar things for themselves, to just choose something that could perhaps make you feel feel your vulnerability and to step outside your comfort zone and do that thing that you wanted to do without having any expectations or to be perceived as being perfect or being perceived as being, you know, like, you know, the best of anything or this perfection thing. And, you know, it's funny, like with my Mary character, it's not about being perfect. And it's so funny also to that side of me that wants to, like, you know, be really, really pretty and to be this and this and this. And all these kind of apparent requirements in my head are also assumptions and wanting to be perceived. You know, if I do it, it's going to be really, really good and all this. Oh, it's exhausting. It's just exhausting. So the courage to be yourself, and I recognize that with everybody, and just to realize that nothing is that serious, and that, yeah, I'm getting in more harmony with myself, so that's really cool. Everything's just really cool, so, I don't know. It's really wonderful. Thank you so much for watching me. Have a wonderful weekend, and the last thing that I can say is to do something that scares you every day. Create it, because it's not so scary. And if it feels scary and you're afraid of what people are going to think about you, which is a lot of us, you know, like, a lot of us, you know, it's just part of I am assuming, but I don't know. Step outside your comfort zone, feel something, and our world will be a much better place. And then you realize you can stop the judgment and labeling because you feel your vulnerability. It's just a compassion and a better world and harmonizing and living together and at peace. I love you so much. Thank you for watching, and enjoy yourselves. And happy Pride Month. Yeah. Bye-bye.